Greetings and welcome back to the Loopy Homestead.
As promised, we are back to show you the rest of what goes on with our homestead board and our monthly grocery shops.
Okie doke, so I have our monthly schedule here. Like I talked about on the board, it is the first one I always do because it's the things on this schedule that will have some impact on what I make for dinner what nights. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and fill in anything having to do with our church, some of the youth groups and things like that we do. So we'll get that in here first. And a lot of times that stuff I will go ahead and write in red so it stands out from the rest of our things. So I know the other items that I'm going to be putting on the calendar, so I'll get those filled in a minute too. Alrighty, so that's our month. I know that probably on this day, I'm not going to want to have to come home and cook a dinner. These days, I'll need to have something fixed up also, and that my mom will be gone for a little bit. So I may not have to cook as much food those days. So this just helps me kind of know what I will need going forward when I make my dinner menu and whatnot. Alrighty, so here's my dinner menu. I've got my monthly calendar still here so I can reference it. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull back out March and I'm going to take a look at anything I maybe didn't do and move it around into this month somewhere here. So maybe it's a decision to have something easy one night, or to make sure that if I put it on a night before I couldn't make it on, I maybe don't make that same mistake again. So I know that, let's see here. I want to do, well, I'll just get into it. I'll rewrite my stuff and then I'll show you where I go from there. Alrighty, so then I'm going to come back to March here and I'm just going to take my red pen and mark these off. This is probably just me being a little OCD, but it makes sure I've gone back through this and taken a look. So as far as the stuff I moved over already, some of my choices have to do with teenage boys being gone and not having to make as much of this type of food. In this case, it's something I can make ahead of time, toss in the oven and set it to cook so it can be doing things while I'm away. This is a day where I don't have much going on already, and since this is a more labor-intensive dinner, I'm going to put that there. And then, of course, here, we're having a church potluck that day. So everybody might come home at, say, 1 o'clock, be totally stuffed from that and not be interested in as big a dinner. So this ham and pear sandwiches is kind of a perfect lighter meal for that evening. So at this point, I'm going to go through. I'm going to check with my family to see who's got some requests when. I know for a fact I'm just going to go ahead and do this right here. We're going to do Taco Tuesday. We haven't done tacos in a while, and they are a family favorite. So with that, I'll go get some input from the rest of the family, and you'll see me back with some of this filled in a little more, and then I'll tell you what we do from there. Okay, so I have gotten input from my family, and as you can tell, our calendar filled up pretty quick. It means I have 9 days where I don't have something chosen, and I've got to figure some stuff out. Some of those days are days that I know I need to kind of have something that is either able to just throw in the oven or the crock pot, easy make. I've also marked that my mom will be gone on these days. This just reminds me that these days I don't have a backup dinner maker per se. If I can't make dinner, a lot of times it's my mom. Other people will help out. It just means that I kind of have to sort of plan for that in a sense. So what I will do next a lot of times is I will then just kind of go through our menu and pick some things. I might scroll my Pinterest. Occasionally, if I think that I can't come up with stuff, I might just put TBD, because inevitably during the month, just like last month, there will be a day that I don't make what I had planned to make. Something else got in the way. But in this case, I have some other ideas. I've gone through my Pinterest, and I'm just going to go ahead and mark those down where I think they would be good. For instance, Our family really likes the Costco chicken bakes, but the ones I can make at home are much bigger. They're actually closer to size to the ones you can get at their little like restaurant deli thing than they are the kinds that you can get just out of the frozen section there, which is a little weird. But they're actually not that hard to make. You can totally find a recipe for that. You'd be surprised at how quick they are to make. Another night too, you know, again, looking back at these things, looking at some of the stuff that I had planned to do, there's lots of options. So I'm going to go ahead and get them filled in here, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so I've got my calendar filled out. Another thing that I do to help myself out, just helps me quickly remember, is anything that comes from a recipe I might have saved to Pinterest, I'm going to mark that down. It just helps me know where to go for things. At the moment, I save a lot to there. And the reason I do that is just it helps me kind of have an online recipe book. My eventual plan is to get everything written down in my actual physical recipe book, so that way I can reference those things whether I have access to internet or not. It will just give me, you know, a better library of stuff. But until then, it's real easy for me to just go, okay, I can pull this up, I can pull this up, I can pull this up. And just have that prepared. Because then especially, I don't have to go looking for a recipe again. I already have it available to me. And it makes my life much faster for that. So with that, my calendar list is done for the month. Some of this, like on days that we're having Caesar salad, I'll probably get this here, but I will not buy the fruit for my fruit salad until later that month. So that's just, it's kind of an overall of how I will plan some stuff. Pretty soon here, I will get a grocery list based off of this and other necessities for the house. And I will actually even take you through that particular process also. Alrighty, we're back here again. As promised, I am going to show you how we do our grocery list for our monthly shop. Got a trusty legal pad here. I have 1,000 of these. My family knows I'm a little OCD about keeping lists and stuff, but I have a tendency to forget things. So if I don't keep lists, 9 times out of 10, the thing I need to do doesn't happen, or the thing I need to remember doesn't happen. So I'm just going to do my usual. And label it at the top, so in case I separate this from my pad, I don't get it lost with anything else. The very first thing I'm going to do, and now I'm not going to worry about where I'm getting these things or what brands I decide I want to get. I'm just going to simply start out with each of the items that I think I need. And the first category I'm going to start with is going to be things like cleaners, laundry detergent, dishwashing soap, if I need toilet paper, any other cosmetics we need like body wash or things of that nature, because typically I'm going to find those kinds of things all in the same area of whichever store I choose to get them in. And so that's the primary premise. I'm going to try to stick things in sort of item clumps. I'll look for all of one type of item next, all another type of item. And once I've got the things that aren't necessarily grocery related out of the way, that's when I'm going to start looking at my monthly menu and looking at the things that I do have on hand and the things I don't have on hand. And of the things I don't have on hand, how many do I need? And that's how I'm going to start formulating my list. So I should have a pretty good gist of all the things that I need in a month. I would be lying if I said I don't forget things. I would be lying if I didn't say that sometimes I forget to double up on enough stuff. Mistakes happen. I am getting more and more practiced at this as time goes on. Probably the first time you do a month shop, if you do one, you're going to forget a whole lot. don't write it off just because of that, because every time you do it again, the better you're going to get. You're going to remember, oh yeah, when I thought I needed noodles, I actually needed noodles for 2 different dinners. And sometimes I'll even, make sure I remember that by specifying what shredded cheese I need or how many dinners I need it for. So that way I'm not standing in the store going, yeah, this 1 bag is fine. And then, later that week realizing I don't have all the cheese I needed or things of that nature. Once I am done doing our meals, then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to look at other staples we usually keep around the house, but aren't necessarily meal related. So how's our butter doing? How are our condiments doing? How are our snacks for the kids doing? Those are the things that I'll look at next. And that's when I'll kind of fill them in on my list. It's going to look super jumbled at the top. You're welcome to use it jumbled. Myself, that's chaos in a grocery store. So once I am done completing my list, not only am I going to reorganize what sections things are in, I am also going to start grouping them into the stores I might get them from. Typically we shop at Costco, but there are some things we get from a place called US Chef Store. Other things might come from either Walmart or Winco. Occasionally we actually find really great deals at Dollar Tree. So we're actually going to probably skip around to a couple different stores. If you're going to do a monthly shop, that is the best day to see if the husbands can stay with the kiddos, if they can go to a friend's house. It can be kind of crazy to try to bring little people along with you when you're getting a lot of stuff. Plus, depending on the size of your car, Costco loads of toilet paper don't always fit so well with 3 kids in the back seat, plus all the rest of your groceries. So that's some of the things that I'm going to focus on. I'll pop back in on my list as I take care of a few things and walk you through how I'm doing it. Okay, so I have taken care of most of like the toiletry type stuff around the house. We bought a bunch of it last month, so we're pretty good on things this month. So next, actually, before I start on my dinner menu, I'm going to go through like my pantry staples. So like my flour, my sugar, anything that I use to bake with, maybe spices, make sure that there's none of that I need. And I know right off the bat, flour is one of them. I go through a lot of it.
I've made it to the point in my list where I'm beginning to look at what ingredients I will need for dinner. I look through each day, determine what I already have on hand, and what I will need. If I need pasta, I'm specific about what kind of pasta, or what kind of cheese. This way, I don't miss anything. And if I need multiples of that item, I will make sure to put that noted on my list as well.
Okay, so with that, everything that I need for dinners, except for perishables too far down, is now in this. So the last thing that I'm going to do is take a look at stuff for like snacks or drinks that we make. Like I know that we're out of trail mix, and that is a thing that we really like to have around the house here. So I'm just going to take a look at what are the things that we need to kind of fulfill any snack desires. And then that's the basis for our shopping list. Once I'm done doing that, I will actually take these over to my computer and I am going to decide which stores I like to get these things from. For instance, the tomato sauce that we get. A lot of times we get that at US Chef stores because we can get the number 10 cans that are really big instead of getting 50 small cans. And a lot of times it's a little more cost effective doing it this way also. So it just helps me know, like maybe I prefer to go to Safeway to find my meats. I might find some stuff on discount. So it just helps me know what places I'm going to go and where I'm hoping to find it. So we are getting ready to head out to do that monthly shop we've been talking about. We've got all our bags in the car. We are leaving all kids at home today because it is much, much faster to get this done when little people aren't asking for things or running around or doing whatever. And it takes less time because, you know, you're not having to wait for as many people to get seatbelted and things. So that's it. We are going to head for Coeur d'Alene. We actually have a number of different places we have to head today. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be quite a few places all over North Idaho. So that's it. We'll take you along. I don't know if we'll get any of us shopping, but you pretty much know what that looks like. So if nothing else, we'll see you in just a couple of seconds once we're done shopping.
I push the cart. I watch the list. She collects the things.
And we a lot of times we go to checkout or self-check. I know a lot of people have disagreements over that because they're, you know, it's about jobs or other things. My personal thing is I really hate sometimes how our items get bagged. I like all the frozen stuff to be together, all the things that might go to the bathroom together, because I know how it's going to get put away and how quickly we can get put away if it's organized. I really prefer to bag myself. And sometimes it's kind of weird. We'll go into a grocery store and I'll say, I'll bag our things, and they won't let me. It's kind of odd. So that being said, when we can, we actually try to go to self-check. And then I ring while Mom bags. So
there you have it. We're off.
Bye. I'm getting two because I won't want to sell it. Thin sliced is perfect.
That's enough?
Yep. This is what happens when you don't butcher enough chickens to make it through the year. Hopefully those American breasts will be better, right?
Yep.
So much milk. One or two?
Two. And that's only for 2 days.
We have some at home, but we need to restock. So, long day, did a lot of shopping. My car behind me is super full. It is now 5 o'clock. We started our day, we left the house today at 8 a.m. And yeah, we hit Costco and Walmart and a place,
Chefs.
Yep, where we get some of our other bulk items. We stopped at a Dollar Tree. We got our pet stuff. So yeah, I think we stopped at like what, 10 different stores?
I don't know. We had Home Depot in there too.
But that was for
to
a
deal
house
with
thing.
other things.
So there were a couple other, maybe I'm thinking 10 stores because we literally went to 10 different places. We try to take care of any other errands that we have to run, amongst other things. So that's part of why our day takes us longer. But all of the shopping for the most part is done for the month, aside from like super perishables, like I said, that we're not going to use within the next week, week and a half. So at this point, we will take y'all home. We will show you how much came home with us, and we'll work on getting it put away.
And we have how many guys at home, hopefully, that are going to unload all of this. And I'm sure they're ready to start
It's
eating
a process. Yes. All right. So we'll see you in just a few minutes. For us, it'll be probably, I don't know, 30 before we get home, but we'll be back in a second.
Ta-ta!
We're home and the car has been unloaded. This is our monthly grocery haul. We have toilet paper, fruit, vegetables, frozen vegetables, snacks, stuff for making, you know, the drinks that we enjoy. Gosh, I don't even know what else.
Lots. There's no other way to put it. A 2-page list.
Yep. Just like you saw.
For this family, yes.
You know, with reusable bags is what we try to go with as much as we can. Otherwise, literally, we come home with about 1,000 plastic bags in here. Now, as far as our family goes, we're not so worried about choosing specifically organic. I know a lot of homesteading families use Azure Standard. We haven't tried them yet. It's kind of in our eventual game plan. But for now, with so many people eating, convenience is kind of what we have to go for. And really, you know, we have to pay attention to price. Lots of families are just like us, where a budget means everything. And yeah,
10 people?
Buying a huge thing of toilet paper to get us
people.
through. So it's really a lot of times for us more about convenience, more about cost, and just having enough to get us that 30 days between shops so that we're not just at the store every couple of days. I know some people are able to do 1 week shops. Some people, maybe not. Honestly, this is something that is a sort of a financial thing that we do budget, because we're talking about, you know, maybe $200-300 in a shopping trip at one place, depending on what we're getting. So it's maybe not so possible for everybody to do this, but if you kind of work your way towards it, which is exactly what we do, it might become a possibility. We live at least, what would you say, 20 minutes from our closest grocery store.
12 miles from the closest grocery store.
And that's a grocery store that, while they have sales, it's not great. I mean, we will definitely pay more for a bag of salad there than we will if we drive to the next closest major store, which would be Walmart. And at minimum, that's 30 minutes away. If we want to go to Costco and Walmart and some of the other places we go, that's a minimum 45-minute drive. So it's not convenient if we have to constantly run back to these places to get those foods. Putting away the majority of the groceries took Mom and I just under a half an hour. And the biggest difference is made that everything has a home. Our fridge is pretty well organized, our pantry's organized, we know where things go. So it really is a fast process once you get used to it. As it goes for the stuff behind me, it's all snack bags and things that live in other containers. So it's just a matter of putting them in their smaller spaces. I keep a lot of my snack bags in these clear bins here. Helps me have an idea of how many we've gone through. The kids are kind of allowed like 1 snack a day, because otherwise my older boys would totally scarf through stuff in this house. And when I say my older boys, that means my sister's kids too. But even my smallest one, if he had an opportunity, would probably eat a banana, an apple, an orange, a snack bag, a cheese stick. I mean, he'd go through a lot during the day if I didn't say no. And generally we hold our kids to, like, if you're gonna have a snack, you have to have something healthy like an orange or a banana first. So we try to limit too much of the snacking, even though you see a lot here. When there's many people getting through it, a pack of 8 bags just doesn't do you for a full month. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff away, and that'll pretty much be the end of it. I've also been asked if we can show you our pantry, so I will do that. But this is the next step of it. So as promised, I am standing here in our storeroom. This is where we keep a lot of our food that we don't keep in our cupboards. So you can see behind me a bunch of the canning that we do. You can see the chicken stock we did earlier this year. Here's some of, what's here? I've lost it now. Oh, up here, some of my pie filling, some of the fruit that we've done. Down here, I found these really amazing can racks on Amazon. This lets us just, like you see in the store, come home, put our things away this way. We keep pastas and rice. I dry can a few of our things. This is just done with a vacuum sealer in a regular ball jar with a lid. It's a great way to reuse your canning lids, guys, because it's okay if they were once used for something like this. Now they can be used for something like this. It keeps things nice and fresh. We keep potatoes down here. It's nice and cool. It works great for that. Behind me is where we keep our freeze dryer. You can kind of see it right here. This also means it's kind of where we process some of our stuff. But this is it. When we first moved in, none of these shelves were here. Now they go floor to ceiling, and we can store a lot of stuff in here.
Thanks for joining us back on the Loopy Homestead. If you stayed till the end of the video, we really appreciate it because we know this one was a long one. If you'd like to stay in the loop, please subscribe to our videos. And if you'd like to help us find more looplings like you, please like and share them. See you next time.
Hey, Mommy, can I have a snack?